Yeah, that stuff's never fun. Plumbing in general just sucks. I hate it. Almost as much as electrical.
Yeah, I'm. You know what really sucks too is that if you own a home for long enough, you kind of get good at some of these things. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so I've replaced toilets and vanities and rerun some water under the sinks and replaced faucets and all of that kind of just like home stuff, and it's just not fun. It's just
Yeah, I've gutted and redone 3 bathrooms, 4 kitchens. I
damn.
mean, three kitchens. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. See, and I haven't done any. I haven't done any flooring.
Oh, okay.
I haven't done any. Let me see. What would be the other thing? I haven't really done any drywall, anything like that. I haven't replaced a shower or a tub. I've replaced shower doors, a number of times, but I haven't replaced like a whole tub. I haven't done any drywall. Lots of painting, dude. Like painting. Painting's kind of my jam, though. I don't hate painting, and painting is one of those things that I think like a little bit of paint can make a giant difference. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure. Can obviously completely change the look and feel of a room or a house.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, fuck painting. I hate it. Can't stand it. I'm about to, as soon as we hop off here, I'm going to finish painting and probably cuss a lot, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't hate painting. So, like I said, it makes a huge difference. So, hey man, before we get into anything tonight, we should talk about what companies we're wearing today.
Yeah, man, I've got Bare Knuckle Performance, Bare Knuckle Paul, and those folks, his son Sam and Mikey Nine Finger out there just west of St. Louis building some badass bikes. They've done some work to the Street Glide for me in the past, and always good folks to talk to, so supporting them today. How about you?
Nice. Well, I'm sporting my original Garage Moto shirt, and so
Nice.
I had a relationship with Original Garage Moto in the past, and I did some work with them and some. So I have a bunch of their parts on my bike. I have foot controls, mainly foot controls, and then I believe it was last summer I installed the rear set bag guards, I guess.
Yeah, crash bars.
Crash bars, and theirs are pretty unique because the part that your bag rests on is actually connected to the bar. It's all one piece, so there's no cutting of that bar. There's a few other brands out there that you have to cut that bar, and while I'm not opposed to doing that, the problem is that there's no permanent fix for it unless you are handy and you weld or whatever. So it leaves an area where there's some opportunity to get some moisture and stuff in there, and I think over time they would rust. I don't. That's not a proven fact by any means. I just know that I ride in enough weather conditions where I think that would be an issue for me. So the original Garage Moto bars, plus they're also like the thicker diameter, so they are a very hefty bar. I mean, if I'm telling you right now, if I bend this bar, it's going to be a real problem because there's going to be some damage to my bike.
If you've been, I mean, I've checked those out before. If you bend those,
yeah,
you don't worry about it because your bike's gone.
Yeah.
It's totaled.
Yeah. So yeah, I have, like I said, I have some of their parts on my bike. A lot of people are, feel a certain way about a few companies, that kind of stuff. Original Garage Moto is from Canada, but they are actually closer to me than a lot of companies are in the United States. And I'm still, again, I kind of go back to that. If the company makes a good part, if they support the motorcycle community, I'm all about it, right? I don't necessarily, and I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to push any buttons. I'm not trying to create any fights or anything like that. They're a small boutique company, like a lot of companies are in America. They make good parts. They make risers and bars. They make a riser and bar setup so that you don't have to try to thread anything through. The risers actually have like a plate on the inside that you remove, and you run the wires through, and they have like it's beveled out on the inside, and then you put this little plate back on. Really kind of a cool idea,
Nice.
cool setup.
Yeah.
I've installed their bars and risers on a buddy of mine's bike. They have good stuff. That's all I can say. Right? I've
Yeah,
liked
if
it,
you
so.
hop on Forever Rad's Instagram page, they just built a bike, 24 Road Glide for their painter, Springle, and it is outfitted with about every OG Moto part you can put on there: bars,
Yeah.
risers,
Yeah.
everything, and they killed it.
Yeah, and that's
as
a
always.
bronze color I think they have on there. So
Yep.
I don't know if they worked with OG and got them to, or if that's a new.
I think they may
color.
have, or they may have done that themselves. I don't really know,
Yeah.
but they partnered with, and Forever Rad does a ton of OG Moto stuff. But I actually am getting ready to order those. I'm ready to order those rear crash bars for my Street Glide. So I've got nothing back there. So
Yeah, they're really they are really good. So
yeah.
so anyway,
Yeah, it's all about rear crash bars. It's all about staying protected and
yeah.
And if you get in a wreck, hopefully not, or just drop your bike. That's probably more common.
Yeah.
Drop your bike. You're protecting the bike and maybe you too, for that matter.
Yeah,
Keeping your legs safe.
For sure. Well, that throws out who we're representing today, and
Yeah. As we just went into 10 minutes of OG Moto. So
Right,
hey
right.
guys, feel free to sponsor us.
Yeah,
we're happy to
right.
talk more.
right, for sure. I know those guys a little bit, so we could have them on sometime in the future. Hopefully,
That'd be great.
They are they're really good guys. Welcome to Moto State Podcast, where we talk about motorcycles, life, and everything in between. So,
Nice. Very cool.
yeah.
Well, speaking of protection.
Oh, boy.
and,
Okay.
No, I'm not going there. Jeez, calm down. Wow. Too early in the day for that. We're talking about protection and things that might help you in some way. Today I thought we'd talk about what we carry, kind of what are our essentials on
Sure.
our bike, and then essentials of what you carry on yourself, your EDC. Like, what do you carry with you every day
Sure.
on your person? So thought it'd just be something we hadn't obviously covered before, and be a good topic. I think a lot of folks we know that ride or always have something in the bag or something in the tool roll or whatever. So thought we'd discuss that. So why don't you lead us off, Ryan? What do you carry on your bike, and does it depend on what you carry versus a road trip to just a day trip?
So I'm kind of, let me see. So I used to have a couple of different ways that I had my Road King kind of set up for me. So I have a king size tour pack and I have a Razor tour pack. And so this last year, I did some upgrading or updating, or I don't even know what you want to do it, but I basically installed the Whole Shot series from Advan Black on my bike, with the shorty bags and the different side covers and a different front fender, different rear fender, different lights, kind of the whole kit, right?
Yep.
And so with that, I ended up just kind of leaving my King Tour pack on. So I kind of have, I don't know, the performance touring aesthetic going on. So that's kind of the state that I have left my bike in now. I didn't put the Razor pack on this year, and I likely won't. And so with that in mind, the things that I carry with me on my bike, I carry with me whether I am going on a road trip or whether I am out, whether I'm out just on a day trip, because I don't really like to be caught ill-prepared.
Sure.
So I can just kind of go down the list of things, and forgive me because there's a couple of companies that I don't recall the actual products. So I'm just gonna go down. So I keep a toolkit in my bike, and everybody feels a little bit differently about the tools. But I did the Amazon special situation, and there's a company out there called Cruise Tools, or Cruise Tech Tools, either one, and they make a very specific toolkit for Softails, for baggers, and this is why I got this. Your toolkit on your bike does not need to be. I mean, there's some people that go to Harbor Freight and build a toolkit from there. You do not need to buy a Snap-on toolkit to put on your bike. In fact, I would argue that that's kind of a waste of money. If you did that, you're kind of hoping for your bike to break down, right? I use this toolkit because it's smaller. It has everything I should need. I had to add a couple things to it, but for the most part, it has everything you're going to need for a roadside repair. So I have that toolkit on my bike. They make another specific smaller tool that I had purchased a while ago too. It's like a multi-tool, and so I have that in my toolkit also, and that's again from Cruise Tech Tools. I have
Is that like a Leatherman, or is it something different?
Well,
than
I mean,
multi-tool?
the multi-tools. It's kind of like a Leatherman, but it's specific for your motorcycle. So it has the most common sockets used on your bike. It has but it is essentially a multi-tool like that, but it's not a Leatherman style multi-tool.
Got it.
So I carry a tire patch kit. I carry those air pumps that have gotten to be all the rage. There's a few companies that make them. I believe mine is by Airmoto. I don't remember if that's the exact name, but it's one of those that you charge it, you put it on your bike, you set the tire pressure, and it pumps up your tire to that tire pressure.
Yep.
It's a really handy thing to have. I've never used it. I have the same one that a buddy of mine has, and he has actually even used it to pump up a tire on his car. In fact, he's used it twice for that, and so for him, he's got his money out of his for sure. I always keep rain gear on my bike no matter what. And so one of the things I discovered with my rain gear is that I also have waterproof boots that I wear, but I got caught in a couple of rainstorms. And one of the things I realized is that rain gear is a universal fit kind of deal. And my rain gear, even if you're riding, it can pull up off of your pant leg.
Sure.
And I had a trip where it pulled up off my pant leg. The rain basically shed down my rain gear and into my boot. So even though my boot was waterproof, my boot's filled with water because the water shed down my rain gear.
Yeah.
And so I actually went out and got essentially, they're called gaiters. There's a bunch of different names for them, but it's a thing basically that covers up the bottom part of my boot. And it has a kind of a connector on it that goes around the bottom of my boot and then over the lace of my boot, so they stay down. And really, it's just for the bottom part of my leg. To cover up the top part of my boot. They're gaiters. The ones I bought are like a Hike Trend or something like that. They're so if you were hiking and like you got bit by a snake, they're supposed to protect you from that kind of scenario also.
Okay. All right.
But I got those, and then I have essentially a set of waterproof gloves that I wear. And like everything else, I think I got my rain gear from a company called Hot Leathers a number of years ago. They're like that bright orange color, that kind of stuff. Yep. I know a few of my friends have gone with there's a few companies out there. I think Thrashin makes some really good rain gear. My buddies, I have two buddies that run Odin Manufacturing, another company out of Canada, run their rain gear. I think that's what I'm going to be upgrading to next year, because they have an Adirondack jacket, so it's like a slip over, so it doesn't have zippers on the front. So you don't get that leakage through zippers. That's a really common place to get leakage on for rain gear. And their rain pants actually have that connector on it that I talked about that go all the way down and connect to your boot. so they don't pull up,
Oh,
and they're actually
okay.
built to have some extra length in the legs, so that when you get on your bike and you bend your knees, they don't just pull up that extra length.
Sure.
So,
Either they don't pull up or you don't get a wedgie. One of the two.
correct.
Right?
Yep, one of the two.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but anyway, rain gear, and then the other thing I always have, because I do wear a helmet all the time, I have a clear shield. I always wear a dark or tinted, some type of tinted visor on my helmet all the time, because my eyes are pretty light sensitive, and so I always carry a clear shield. And most recently, I always make sure that I have a pair of sunglasses on my bike. I normally will carry an extra pair of gloves, so I might have like a pair of gauntlet gloves and then a shorter pair of gloves.
Okay.
Almost always have a sweatshirt on my bike, because most oftentimes I wear a vest when I'm riding, but I'll always have a hoodie just for if I need to throw an extra layer on.
Okay.
And then this time of year, I would also carry my heated gear on my bike, just because I don't want to get caught in the cold. The bike trip I took last weekend, we got up on our second day of riding. It was 52 in the morning, so I threw my heated gear on.
So are you a zip-up hoodie guy or a pullover hoodie guy?
Oh, that's a good question. I actually have both. I
Yeah.
usually wear a pullover hoodie when I'm on my bike, just because I don't want that extra thing to fumble around with. But I wear a pullover hoodie underneath my winter coat, or a zip-up hoodie underneath my winter coat, because I found that layering for me is the best way to stay warm.
Sure.
But
okay.
yeah, so it sounds like a lot, right? I mean, it sounds like a lot of shit that I have on my bike, and if
Yeah, and it's like 800 pounds. That's
yeah.
fine, though. I'm sure
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
that great suspension. So.
Yeah. I mean, I got a whole bunch of shit on my bike. So, but yeah, that's what I wear, or that's what I have on my bike with me pretty much all the time. Takes up most of the room actually in my tour pack, and so my saddlebags are used for my clothes. But because I've got it kind of down to what I need, essentially all the time when I ride, that stuff pretty much stays in my bike. So,
Yeah, you're not moving around. What about bottle of whiskey? Like, I mean, no little extra fuel. I'm just joking.
no, nope. And
Just
because
to-
I have a big fuel tank, I don't carry a fuel bottle with me. But I've thought about it. I do carry, when we travel, I carry a water bottle, like one of those that all your water stays cold in. I don't know what all the kids were using a couple of years ago. Not the Stanleys, but the ones before the Stanleys. They're the ones
Sure.
that I had. I don't remember what they're called, but
Do you carry like fuel boost, octane boost with you ever?
I don't. We're pretty lucky up here because you can find pretty much 91 everywhere.
Okay.
And then there's a place in my town now that actually carries 94 for
okay.
all ATV and side by sides and that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. Sure. Okay.
So I fill up there when I can.
Nice. All right. So for me, it changes. A day ride, and I guess it varies by bike. So with the Bagger day ride, and it's a newer-ish bike, I'm carrying pretty minimal stuff. Tire patch kit, maybe a rain suit. Probably not, unless it's it's kind of sketchy. If it's definitely going to rain, I'm probably not riding. Unless I'm just on a road trip and I don't have a choice. I got to get from A to B. I always have a water bottle. I have a Yeti water bottle that's been to 40 states and 3 countries with me. Like that thing until I blow a hole in it. It's going with me everywhere. Usually have a couple sets of gloves like you. Usually have a clear shield, or at least have clear glasses. I can flip my shield up and wear those in the evening. Had to do that just the other day. Trying to think what else. That's really about it. I keep pretty minimal stuff. I have a real small toolkit that I may that is usually in my Street Glide, regardless. Road trips, though, definitely rain suit all the time. That tire patch kit is there. Depending on where I'm going, I'll carry a little bottle of octane boost. A couple times where I couldn't get anything more than 89. So just can't hurt anything the way I look at it. throw it in there. Clear shield. Trying to think what else. That's usually, I try to keep it pretty light. But the toolkit's pretty, it's an Amazon special, but it's the few times I've needed to adjust something or whatever, knock on wood, nothing crazy breaking down, but it's had everything I needed, and it's probably, I've gotten more use out of helping friends with their bike than I have for myself. So hopefully that's paying it forward at some point, because it's eventually going to happen to me. FXR is a little different for sure. 25-year-old bike. So I actually, there's a guy, it's called Hog Rolls. John, he started this company a year and a half ago, where he will make a tool roll specific for your bike. And so he's an FXR guy. So he started off with FXR specific tool rolls, and he's since got his own branded ones. I got one of the first ones. So it's a Carhartt tool roll.
Oh,
and it's heavy. There's a lot in there,
right.
But everything you might need within reason for an FXR. So I have that, and I keep that in one of the saddlebags all the time, because again, it's a 25-year-old bike, whether it's been completely rebuilt in the last few years or not. So I keep that. Same thing, gloves, water bottle, tire patch kit is always there. And definitely, if it's more than a day trip, I'm grabbing some Octane Boost, because carburetor's a little more finicky than the fuel injection.
Sure.
So yeah, and I keep a little, for road trips, a little spray bottle of Windex, and some microfiber towels for my helmet, and for the front of the bike, just to try to get knock some of the bugs off, and preserve that clear coat as long as I can. And then, like you, I'm sorry, on both bikes, I have a Lexan tire pump that I keep in there, because you just never know. Fortunately, with my bagger, it's got the tire pressure sensors, so I know whether I need it or not. But that's there. Trying to think, there was something else. I guess that's really about it. But yeah, it's those are the things that I'm carrying with me on a road trip. And I haven't done a super long road trip on the FXR yet, but that's the goal for this fall, or definitely in the spring. So can't wait for that. And I bought a Pelican case.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Quick release system from Boosted be able to have a tour pack for the FXR going forward, so I can fit a little more stuff on there.
Nice. And I had actually, you mentioned it and I had forgotten, but I'm a Bug Slide guy. So
Okay.
I've been using Bug Slide for 6 or 7 years, and that stuff's fantastic. I absolutely love it. About once a year, I buy their refill kit. You can buy them on Amazon. You can buy them everywhere now. But I buy their refill kit. But then I buy their travel kit. And they used to come with, they do still too. If you buy their small travel kit, they come with these bright yellow cloths. What did you
like
just mention? Microfiber. Yep, they have a microfiber. But I also been buying microfiber cloths on Amazon too, because
Sure.
I'm kind of that. Use them a few times, and I'll wash them once, and then when I use them a few times after that, I'll throw them away. They become kind of a pretty disposable item, but they're also an invaluable thing to keep your face shield clean, your windshield. And like you, if I go on a road trip, I'll spray off my front fairing, try to get the bugs off, that kind of stuff, just because that shit sits too long and it causes some issues. So,
and actually, a couple things, or one thing, I do have a jump pack that's got USB ports as well. So I do have that on road trips. I always carry one of those with me, especially camping. If I don't have electricity nearby, I can run off the bike or run charge a phone or whatever off that if I need to. I do have on the bagger, the phone mount also charges my phone, so that's helpful along the way. But yeah, that thing's been, and it's got a flashlight built in, so it's this multi-purpose. Just an Amazon purchase on that one, but
Yeah.
comes in handy.
Yeah, they sure can. No, I think I think that every person decides what they need or want to carry on their motorcycle. It's interesting because I don't have like an EDC for my car or my truck. You know what I mean?
I don't either.
Like I guess I have a couple things that I keep in there in the winter time. Like, because around here they tell you you should have a winter survival kit in your vehicle at all times.
Sure.
And I do, like on a road trip, I'll throw like a sleeping bag or a blanket or something in the back. But for the most part, it's funny. I don't carry all that stuff. I think that speaks to how much more vulnerable we feel on our motorcycles than
Sure.
we feel in our cars on a road trip, right? I mean, your car breaks down, you still at least have some protection from the elements, from not a lot, but some, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just, I think it speaks to how much more vulnerable, like I said, we feel when we're on our motorcycles versus our cars.
Well, something neither one of us listed was a med kit or tourniquet kit or something of that nature.
That has been brought up to me more than once when I have spoken about EDC or anything like that. And there's a few companies out there, and it's been brought up to us actually. And I don't remember who it was, but somebody brought it up and said, hey, there's a person out there that makes makes these kits that we should have on. And so if you're out there, please hit us up in the comments again, because I do think this would be worth having on, because there are a few things that you should have in a med kit if you're going to have a motorcycle med kit, tourniquets and things like this that are important. And I've heard them being lifesavers for people, life and limb, I should say, savers for people that have had motorcycle accidents. So...
Yeah, something I guess you could use as a tourniquet. I usually carry a couple extra straps that I use to hold, put down luggage, strap down luggage. I usually carry a couple of those because they're plastic clips. It's going to break eventually, right? So I guess you could always use one of those as a tourniquet, but that's not a bandage. That's
Right.
not a
Right.
whatever, not gauze.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, please, if you know who that is, or if you happen to be listening, drop that in our comments. That's something I keep saying I'm going to put in the bag, and I just still haven't.
No, and I think if there's, a company out there, it'd be worth having this person on, especially if they're building these kits for people, or if they have a business that is, supported by these. It would be good to get out there and make them, them more well known, right? Because that's it's important. It's an important part. You don't want to think about it because you don't want to think that it could happen, but it could happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, realistically,
no one wants to think about that stuff or think about worst case scenario, but
No.
it's real.
No,
Unfortunately.
and it's funny because that's what we're planning for with all of these things we have on our bikes, is something happening, but yet then we don't have a first aid kit. It's kind of a dumb idea. I think if I was starting to do ADV riding, I probably would have a first aid kit. I think the chances of you going down on your ADV bike, or minimally tipping it over, right, are a lot more likely. And so, definitely something that I would consider carrying a lot more likely if I was riding that style of riding. But
Well, at least we're taking care of our bikes better than us. Good for us.
yeah, right there you go.
I'm sure our families love to hear this.
Absolutely. The most important thing is to make sure nothing happens to your motorcycle. But never mind
That's
if
right.
I fall and, scrape myself up really bad. I'm just going to rub some dirt in it and get back on the road, right?
I can get away with one arm. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
And a bad limp. It's fine.
Right. One leg would be easier than one arm if you were a motorcyclist. Just saying.
True. Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about what we carry on our bikes.
Yeah.
And road trips or day trips or whatever. What about on yourself, on your person? What's typically in the pockets?
Okay, so I'm I'm a real simple person when it comes to EDC for me. And so I was just thinking about this. So there's 3 things that I have with me all the time, and then there's a 4th thing that I add some of the time. So I carry a Kershaw Launch. So it's a 7100 BW, has a 3 and a half inch blade, just under 3.5 inch blade. It's the plain Edgewater black with the black anodized handle. So it's like a
Okay.
stone washed blade, basically stone washed black blade is for lack of a better term for
Okay.
it. That Kershaw is, for any of you that know, the Kershaw is made in America. This is it's an auto knife. Just for those of you that don't know, so it's a push button auto knife.
Is it push button or spring assist?
Well, both of those things are true, but it has a push button on it.
It has a
and
push
it's-
button,
And then
okay.
it's a spring assist, so it's considered an auto knife.
Okay, got it.
Important to know that you need to know the rules of your state, specific state that you live in. The knife that I carry is illegal in a number of places, but I also have a permit, so that allows me to carry a variety of concealed carry items, self-defense items.
Sure.
I consider this to be more of a utilitarian tool than I do for something for self-defense. You could use it for both of those things. For me, it's more about a tool than it is about something for self-defense, but it could be used for both of those.
Okay.
The next thing I carry with me all the time, I have to give my wife all the credit for this one, is a number of years ago for Father's Day, my wife and girls bought me a Ridge wallet. I know a lot of people have seen those. They're very popular. They have that whatever it is, technology that protects, RFI, I think is what it's called, that protects
Yes.
your credit cards and things from being copied. I have the what would you call it? The carbon fiber version, and
Okay.
I absolutely, positively, 100% love this wallet. I've used it since they bought it for me 3 years ago, and I will never go back to a regular wallet.
How heavy is that thing compared to a leather wallet?
So a couple of things. Number one, it changed the way that I carry. I don't carry anything in my back pocket anymore. It's in my front pocket. I actually use the money clip version of it to clip it on the front of my pants, so the front of my pocket. So I put it in my front pocket, but I use the money clip portion to clip it on the front of my pants, just like I would like a knife or utility tool.
Okay.
And so it's changed, like I said, it's changed what I carry. So I don't carry a wallet or anything in my back pocket anymore. I never realized how much fatigue you get either on your motorcycle or on your riding in a vehicle by having something in your back pocket. It's actually pretty terrible for your back, pretty terrible for your hips, and I didn't realize how much that was an issue until I moved away from carrying anything in my back pocket, and have never looked back. And I won't. I won't carry a traditional wallet anymore. Plus, I don't carry cash anymore. I never have cash on me, in fact. So for me, just a place to carry my cards, because I have cards for work and cards for, you know what I mean, your regular ATM and all of that kind of stuff. So
Sure.
I am a cashless guy. I don't like cash and change. And I know there's a lot of people that say cash is king, but here I am in this world, and I have yet to run into a situation where I'm completely stranded without having some cash on me. So
Sure.
that, I guess, I don't know if you consider a phone. I obviously have my phone with me all the time, right? So
Sure.
that's an EDC. The only other thing that I would carry besides my, I wear 2 rings. One is my grandfather's wedding ring, and then one is mine. And then I have a cross chain that I wear. And the reason why I would even mention this, or why it's even anything, is that before my wife and I got married, my parents are Catholic. My wife and I, when gold was affordable, bought my dad a St. Christopher medal, and it was actually a pretty significant size St. Christopher medal. It wasn't a big seller in the jewelry store, I think, because it was kind of like gaudy and ridiculous and large. It was a very large pendant. And my dad, that's the kind of guy he was. He wore like a lot of rings and a lot of jewelry. He looked like a '70s pimp. I mean, he had always had a diamond pinky ring and that kind of stuff, right?
So is this pinned at like Flavor Flav size?
I mean,
Like,
let's just say probably the size of a silver dollar.
Got it.
But it was a St. Christopher's medal. And actually, at the time, I was wearing a much smaller one. But after I got married, I wasn't Catholic anymore, and joined my wife's church, and so I stopped wearing the St. Christopher's medal. But I kept it in a keepsake box. And when my dad passed away, my sisters and my mom decided that they should give it back to me, and so I kept it and wore it for a few months, and then really kind of just decided that it wasn't for me. Number one, I don't wear gold jewelry, and this is bright gold.
Sure.
And so I found a custom jeweler that works in our downtown area, and he makes really industrial looking jewelry. And so I brought him my St. Christopher's medal, my dad's, and the chains that they were on, and I told him I wanted an industrial cross, like really like hand forged, hand hammered. I didn't want it polished and looking beautiful. I wanted it to look like, like it was road worn, basically.
Sure.
And he made me this really great piece. And so and the chain is like stainless steel. I mean, it's all precious. The gold, the cross itself is all precious metal, but it looks road worn, which is exactly what I wanted.
Okay.
You can see there's hammer marks in it. It's got texture to it. It's got 3 different layers, and I really, it's heavy as fuck, so you can't ever forget that it's there.
Sure.
But it's just a way to keep a little bit of my dad with me.
Sure.
And so that's the other thing so those are the things that I have with me every day, no matter what. Here a few years ago, after I started doing solo motorcycle trips, one of my buddies that I rode with, he had his concealed carry permit, and he told me about that when we first started riding. And it was funny, we were riding together for more than 2 years, and I'd never seen his concealed carry.
Sure.
And I said to myself, I need to have a conversation with him, because he really, by doing nothing, it was doing everything for my idea of what concealed carry meant, right? So
Okay.
my experience with concealed carry had been really, I did not grow up in a family that hunted and fished and that kind of stuff, so we didn't have guns in the house. So, but my experience was very limited to that. So I kind of decided that I was going to have a conversation with him. I said, "Hey, I don't know anything about this. Take me out, take me shooting. All of the things." And came home, and I had a very real conversation about the whole situation with my wife. And I said, the world's gotten a little bit more weird, and I'm spending my time solo on my bike. And what do you think about it? And she kind of said to me, I was waiting for you to have this conversation with me.
Interesting.
She wasn't against it. We spent some time. I spent some time educating my children, and educated my wife, and bought a safe and did the whole thing, and so went and took the North Dakota state test. And North Dakota has reciprocity in 42 states. So, but that North Dakota reciprocity also means I have to follow the state that I'm in, their rules.
Right.
And there are different rules in different states, so you should make sure if you're traveling on your motorcycle what the state rules are and follow those, because you don't want to find yourself in a situation. So I have been carrying since then.
Okay.
But for me, it's situational. So I'm not an everyday carry person. I don't disparage anyone that is. I'm just not. I carry on my motorcycle trips and things like that, and on separate occasions. Part of it is that I'm just not used to it, is probably the biggest thing. I haven't gotten myself into a position where I feel entirely comfortable 100% of the time. And so I have a Springfield Hellcat Pro is my concealed carry of choice. It does not have a red dot. It has just the standard sights. I liked that specific one because the concealed carry market obviously it's probably the biggest market in handguns right now.
Sure.
There's a million different ones out there. The Springfield is a very reliable gun. It's it's got a great reputation. The Hellcat Pro, Hellcat was the first one that came out. The Hellcat Pro, the biggest difference between that was There's more in the chamber, right? So I think it's either 15 in one or 16 in one.
Okay.
So very good. You know, most of them are 10, right? So this one is has a good size, but is still considered. It's not a micro carry, but it's certainly way smaller than like a 911 or something like that, right? So
sure.
it's not a giant weapon. It's a good size, but still it's still a good range gun if you want to just go out and shoot. So it is a 9mm, and like I said, I haven't. But it has the Hellcat Pro has the capability of like a full custom pistol, right? So it has the rails on the bottom, so I can put a light on it. I can put a red dot. I can do anything I want. I can put a new body, a new handle. You can do anything you want with this. I have just essentially, because I've just kind of gotten into it, I'm more like novice, and have really, I would say, just barely dipped my toes into that market. So
Okay.
but yeah, so that would be me, my kind of EDC on my person.
I commend you for having the self-awareness that, only carry when you're comfortable, having the conversations with your family, especially the kids, buying a safe. Like you, from what I hear, you went about it the exact right way, and there's a lot of people that don't, so I commend you for that.
Well, and I didn't just like have the conversation. Like I unloaded the weapon and handed it to him. You know what I mean? Like, here's what it is. Here's what it feels like. I showed him where it's at. All of the things. So there was no stumbling on it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because I wanted to make sure that they were safe and understood it. I've done some stupid things with it, not knowing all the rules and things like that. Or I shouldn't say not knowing all the rules, just what I would call rookie mistakes. Just especially going while I was traveling, that kind of things. And we can talk about that someday. I've got a really funny story. It's a great story. About it. It's probably one of the funniest stories from me traveling, but it's really about the solo travel thing. So anybody that knows me knows I'm not a small guy, right? I'm 6'3", 240 pounds. You put all my motorcycle gear and put my face in a helmet for 4 hours, 5 hours. I don't look like the kind of guy at a gas station that you would choose to start a situation with. That being said, if someone was going to do that, they've made the choice prior to walking up to me that something is going to go down.
Sure.
And so, and I've had a couple of situations that my friends have witnessed and whatever that have kind of led me to feel like, I'd rather be safe than sorry, that kind of situation. And so that was kind of the big deciding factor for me.
Yeah, I think I've always looked at it as, and how I've answered the question when people ask me, why do you carry? Well, in the worst case scenario, something goes down, I don't want to have any regrets that I was ill prepared. That in that given situation, I was fully prepared.
Right.
So,
well, and I would make the argument too, when somebody says they're fully prepared, it's not just about going out and buying a handgun and putting it on your person, right?
Right.
Take the safety courses, learn how to shoot your weapon, learn how to take it apart, break it down, and clean it. Fire your weapon enough until it jams. Yeah. Then what do you do, right? Yep. I mean, you need to know all of these things, because these are all things that can happen. The modern guns are not what people think they are, right? Like, my gun has a safety. The safety is the fucking trigger. Yep. So, there's 2 trigger points on there, right? Bring it to the range, unload your gun, find out where those friction points are. Like, you need to know all this stuff because it matters.
Yep.
You don't want to pull your gun and shoot yourself with it. So, all of those things matter.
Yeah. Yeah, the level of being prepared and going down that road, and also just the safety around it is a lot. And so, to your point, please go into that if you're debating that with eyes wide open and go through classes. Plenty. I mean, I don't know of a gun range that doesn't offer advanced safety classes, not just beyond the normal CCW testing, and
Right.
They're very helpful.
And I would be more than open to go down a rabbit hole here. Not today, but at some point in time about this, because I have very strong feelings about the whole idea of right to bear arms, and I think people will be very surprised at where I land with it, because I'm not all in, right? I'm part way in, but I'll leave it at that. So,
Sure, understood. Well, for me, I don't carry a lot either. And actually, before I go down that road, one other thing that is in both my bikes and in my heritage, so all three bikes, that's always there is my late uncle's ashes, a small little tube of his ashes. So he's always going on a ride with me.
nice.
Forgot about that. Yeah. So for me, I just have a regular old plain as day leather wallet, and
That's unfortunate.
and I carry it in my back pocket, and my back hurts. No, I'm kidding. I take it out. Actually, road trips, vehicle or two wheels, I take it out of my back pocket for sure. I carry, like you, I carry a Kershaw pocket knife as well. I have I think it's called the Misdirection. It's just a small spring-assisted lever action, so to say, pocket knife. I also have my keys, and sometimes I will carry. I have a belt holstered knife that sometimes I'll carry when I'm riding. You just I
like
tell
a fixed
people
like a fixed blade.
a fixed blade, yeah. You just never know when there's that Amazon package that pops up out of nowhere you need to open. So I'm fully prepared with two knives
Right,
for
right.
that. And then like you, I have my CCW. I have had that for 15 or 16 years now,
Okay.
and carry. Currently, I'm in the last 5 years, I guess. I've been carrying a M&P Shield single stack 45. That is, I believe, a 6+1 in the throat, and then has second magazine that has extended with +2 cartridges if you want. I have a Crimson Red Dot mounted to that as well. It is very light for a 45, with it being a single stack, extremely skinny. And the holster I've been using since I started carrying is a company called Remora, and they offer Kevlar holsters made specific for the pistol model that you're carrying. And they have a soft Kevlar and a hard Kevlar, and no clips. With that Kevlar material, it'll stick to your skin without any discomfort for 15 plus years. And you can wear it inside the waistband. They do make them with clips as well if you'd like. I prefer not. So, and I have that. I have that with me a vast majority of the time that I'm outside of the house. It's not uncommon. I'll be out for walking the dog, and I live in a safe neighborhood, but I will have that on me. Or sometimes I have a small 9mm car that just I can throw in my pocket. Most people think it's a 380. It's so small, but yeah, and I've done that for years. Just have it always with me. It's a decision I made, back in, I guess, 2009, 2010 range. And there's a bunch of us that were talking about doing it. So we just filled up an entire class, and we all did it together. And it was folks that I've been shooting with many times before, and just good folks and like-minded. And so we all took the class, and it was just a Saturday, Sunday deal. And it was fun. We enjoyed it. And it's kind of interesting. I think of all those people, I think I'm the only one that actually carries. And I don't know if half of them have actually ever renewed their they're carry concealed after the 5-year period in the state of Missouri when it expires.
Mm-hmm.
So, I will, and what I learned also last year, or maybe earlier this year, and didn't realize. So the state of Missouri. So double check your expiration date on your carry conceal permit. State of Missouri decided not to quit to end the mail out notices that it expires, and so just wasn't on my radar, and realized that I'd been carrying a pistol illegally for about 6 months.
Oh shit.
But I was not carrying it illegally in the state of Missouri because you can carry conceal without a permit in the state of Missouri, but in Tennessee that is illegal. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, honest mistake, but that could have been a heap of shit. So, dumbass move of the year right there. But you know, it is what it is.
Do you guys have constitutional carry? Is that
yes.
what you have?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, they passed that in 2017.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
So
we've had constitutional carry for forever, right?
Gotcha.
But the nice thing is that my concealed carry also allows it. My knife is now legal that I have because it's an auto knife, so it wouldn't necessarily be legal, but it's legal with my concealed carry. I can carry a fucking axe with the concealed carry. Like the concealed carry permit in North Dakota, like there's like a whole list of weapons. I can carry a fucking spear. I mean, you know, I can carry a pickaxe. I mean, like, you know, I can carry a tomahawk. I mean, there's just all of these things that you can carry with this concealed carry permit, which is really funny. But
so wait, hold on. That's our next T-shirt,
dude. Yeah,
you carrying a damn tomahawk.
Right. I mean,
fucking amazing.
Yeah. So it's a little, you know, I understand it. I think that, yeah, I don't want to. It's another episode. I think.
Oh, sure.
I think that we should. I think there's a lot to unpack there because I have, like I said, I have some feelings about it. Not ill will at all. Just some feelings, some ways that I feel that I think
Sure.
maybe well, I shouldn't say maybe, probably differ from a lot of people that do carry, right, and what they kind of believe in and don't believe in and that kind of stuff, and you know, whatever. But suffice to say, I believe in the right to bear arms. I believe in the right to defend yourself, and they actually changed a bunch of the rules about that in our state recently too. So we used to have very liberal. I shouldn't say liberal, very wide open laws in our state
very broad.
Yeah, that if somebody was on your property, if somebody broke into your house. Now they're very specific, right?
Yeah.
So if somebody breaks into my house, I have to give them fair warning.
Yep.
And number two, if they choose to leave my house, I can't use deadly force.
Yeah.
So if you shoot them in the back.
You say you never want to shoot someone in the back.
Yeah,
it's not going to look good.
No, you're in big trouble. The only caveat to that was my children's rooms are downstairs, and if I asked somebody to leave and they went downstairs to my children's room, then there you go. So that's the only caveat to that is there's a potentiality of that still being legal because they would be, you know, essentially going to hurt my.
Well, they're not making an effort to leave. So
right, you went the wrong direction, dude. So
yeah.
So
I'll say that there's been a couple instances in my lifetime, and specifically here in St. Louis, that I'm thankful I had a CCW because I've been shot at, so it's not fun. So yeah, it was a couple Februarys ago. I dropped Sophie off at her mom's. It was a weekday. It was President's Day or whatever it is in February, MLK Day. I can't remember, whichever it was that is in February. So I dropped her off at her mom. She was out of school. I was waiting the turn to get back on the interstate, and guy was behind me honking his horn, like telling me to go. I was at a red light, and so I was just like, you know, whatever. This guy's obviously on something. So got the green arrow and went to turn, and what I didn't see was he was starting to try to go around me and turn left. So cut him off, not on purpose, but whatever. So I sped up, got on the interstate, and I guess he was riding my tail or in my blind spot. I really couldn't see him, and I got on the interstate and just swung over to the left lane to go. And I mean, from exit to that exit, that on ramp to my next exit where I was getting off was 4 miles, and So couldn't see him, and all of a sudden I felt like I kicked up. You know the sound you get when you kick up a rock on your truck, and you're like, oh, this one was really loud. I was like, oh, that's weird. And I kind of look over, and I'm in the far left lane, he's in the far right lane, and he's got his pistol out the window. And he's shooting at me.
Holy shit.
So I assume he hit the ground. The bullet hit the ground and ricocheted up. So I had to call 911, and after being on hold for 5 minutes, someone answered.
Jesus.
Yeah. And so he was gone. He was a little two-door BMW. He took off. I wasn't trying to chase him either. I loved to get his license plate number. Didn't work out. So I just go on about my business. I'm on the phone with 911. They pick up about the time that I'm getting off my exit, and I'm 2 cars behind him, same exit.
Oh, shit.
I was like, son of a... I was like, well, actually, he's in front of me. Well, why are you chasing him? I am not. I'm just trying to go home. I just want to go home.
Right.
So we actually passed a police car that was working an accident right off the exit, and I'm on the phone with 911. I stop and I'm yelling at them. They're like, just stay on the phone with 911 and go home. Okay. So I had the thought, I was like, I'm not going to drive straight home.
Sure.
This guy's, because he turned, the turn he made is the turn I had to make home. So
right.
I drove around the neighborhood for a few minutes. I actually saw him again, like speeding through other part of the neighborhood or whatever. So funny story. So those 2 ladies, officers that were working this accident, came to my house, and we looked over. Couldn't find any damage to the car, but they had a camera system on their Tahoe that got pictures of him and the license plates.
Oh,
so they're trying to find him, but they know, I guess, in their notes system, whatever, known associates, right?
Right.
So they started pushing on them and got his phone number and called him. Said, hey, Officer such and such, St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. He's like, I'm so glad this is the officer told me this after the fact. Said, I am so happy you called me. I can't believe that guy hit me and took off. So the guy ended up being at the casino around the same time and it was a victim of hit and run. He thought the police was calling him because of what happened.
Oh, shit.
And they're like, and so she was like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm calling. Can you come down to the station, whatever, on Jefferson? We need to take some pictures and we can file the report. He's like, yeah, I'll be there in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
He showed up and they arrested him. It's wild. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Was he like in your neighborhood? Did he live in your neighborhood?
No, he lived nowhere close to here. He didn't even live in the city.
Oh, okay.
That's the exit he just happened to take, and then he just went through the neighborhood and got back on the interstate and headed back the other direction.
Gotcha.
But because that's what the police officer told me. He said, yeah, he doesn't even live there. Live in the city. Lives in another county.
Hit and run and shoots at somebody and ends up getting arrested. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't know lineup, but they gave me pictures, profile pictures of like 6 people. I had to pick them out, which I was able to do, and it was wild.
Shit.
It's a great story to tell now.
You could even pick him up out of a profile picture. That's nuts. Good for you. Dude.
Well, because he honked the horn, and it was February, but it was like a 55-degree day, so I had the windows like part of the way down.
Sure.
So I literally stuck my head out the window,
sure,
and looked right at him.
Sure.
And so
there you go.
But we can laugh about it. He showed up. He got arrested. But 10 minutes before that, 8 minutes before that, my daughter was sitting shotgun next to me in the car.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
so
right?
It was wild.
Yeah. No, that's nuts. Like gunfight on the interstate, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen a gunfight. I've seen a rolling gunfight battle here in St. Louis.
Dude, I'd be fucking out, dude. I'm out. Like I just pull over on the side of the road and let that shit keep on going. I
was walking. They went by. There was like 2 blocks over, but you could see them go by. I mean, this was like. I immediately ducked, but I could see, 2 SUVs, people hanging out the window.
God damn.
Oh man.
I went through Illinois, and some guys on a porch kind of did that point their fingers at me and pull the trigger kind of situation.
Oh, okay.
And if you know anything about Illinois gun laws, you have to have your shit all taken apart, right? So I had my concealed carry in my saddlebag, unloaded and trigger locked. And I was sitting at this intersection, and there was like a bunch of guys sitting on their porch. It's about 10:30 in the morning, in a really shitty town in Illinois, and they did that motion, and I just had my head straight forward, right? Well, I've got that, mirrored visor on my helmet, and I'm looking, my head's forward, but I'm looking sideways,
Right,
thinking,
right.
this motherfucker jumps off the porch. I'm taking off through
Sure.
the light. They're
Yeah.
not going to catch me. I know it, right?
Yep.
They can get in their Caprice Classic or whatever the fuck they have, but they're not gonna catch me. You know what I mean? I will be gone.
Yeah.
So, that was probably the closest.
That'll make your butt pucker.
Oh,
Either way,
yeah.
right?
Like I was like, waiting for these guys to get off their porch, and I was just sitting there waiting for something to go down, and they didn't. They were just being fuckers, right? But,
Well, last week, just like the next county over, and this is like middle of out, backwoods. Motorcycle went to pass a car, and supposedly didn't do anything to antagonize this driver. But as he passed them, the lady driving rolled the window down and shot at him, and it went through his right arm all the way through,
Jesus,
and went into his left arm. So he got shot in both arms.
Jesus.
And he rode it another 2 miles to the next gas station and pulled over.
Fuck.
Called his friend and then rode it another 1.5 miles to his friend's house. Like, this guy's a stud. I would have. People are crazy, man. It's wild.
That's a lot. You know what I mean? Like, come on. That's a lot.
Yeah. It's, as you said, the world's a little bit crazier nowadays than it used to be.
Yeah, I think people are just very brazen, right? And that's, again, I'm not advocating for or against concealed carry. I'm really not. Everyone has to do what they're most comfortable with. To me, it's like wearing a helmet, right? And I think we can talk about helmets at some point too. But
be aware. Just be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
be aware of your surroundings.
and you're not,
Yeah.
we're not indestructible, right? So I think, having a really good, like you said, be aware, having your head on a swivel, not. There's a consummate thing that I've seen people do. Everyone does it. I've done it. We're all guilty of it. But the number one thing you can do to not be aware of your surroundings is be on your fucking phone.
Yep.
That is the number one way that, that causes you to be distracted from what may or may not be going on around you. And
Yep.
I'm not saying don't be on your phone. I'm just saying, like, if you're going to do it, then, probably a better way would be to put an earbud in and have only one earbud in and have the other earbud open, right?
Yep.
So you're not you're not holding your phone either, that your hands are free. But again, I'm not the judge, jury, and all of that. You have to make your decisions for yourself. So
Yeah, at the end of the day, just use common sense and be aware of your surroundings, and just look out for yourself and others.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you don't have carrying a gun, carrying a pocket knife, or whatever doesn't make you immune to any of it.
Yeah.
These are just these are the choices that you and I make individually, and if you don't want to do that, then I'm glad that you're self-aware that you're not making yourself do that.
right, yeah, we're not endorsing. We're not pro or con. We are just speaking for our own experiences and speaking about ourselves. We're not standing up or against anything. Just want to put that out there so that everybody kind of knows.
Well, I am con of shooting at people going down the interstate. I just want to make sure that
Right.
they're equivocally, fuck no, don't shoot
Right.
at people going down the
Right.
interstate. Yeah.
Right. No, it's like you said, it's about making the right decision. The decision that's right for you. I don't want to say making the right decision. The decision that's right for you, because the decision that's right for you is the right decision. That's the fact on that. So,
And if that's something that you're considering, feel free to shoot us a DM. I'm happy to. I don't want to speak for Ryan, but I'm happy to talk through my experience.
Yeah, I would too.
And just getting comfortable, as Ryan talked about, getting comfortable carrying that on your person, and what that's like. Feel free, happy to just share more in detail my experience of what that's been like the last 15, 16 years.
And if we've missed something, either on our persons or on our motorcycles that you guys carry, let us know. Hit us up on the comments, hit us up on Instagram or YouTube or whatever. let us know that what is it that we missed? What is it that we didn't include in our list of things on our bikes or our list of things on our person? Or what do you carry that's unique to that list? I know that everybody has kind of maybe their favorite things. If you carry a pocket knife, what pocket knife do you carry? I know that pocket knives are a very personal thing for every guy and for different reasons. And I know people that don't carry pocket knives but carry a utility tool with them everywhere they go.
Sure.
Right.
I want to know who's still carrying a Swiss Army knife. That's what.
Yeah, dude. I think there are people out there that still have those.
And
too.
if you're carrying it on a leather holster on your hip, that's awesome.
Yeah,
You're my hero.
Good on you. Yeah. And I know that there's a number of people that carry fixed blades too, especially when they're on their bikes. Right. There's a lot of horizontal carry fixed blades that are really nice and something that I've considered adding to my to my situation at some point too. But
yeah, let me know. I the guy that made mine, he custom made mine for me. Reasonable price. I really liked it. I really like it. It's nice.
Is it bare knuckle brand? I don't know. There's a
no,
few.
It's not bare knuckle or the other one that you see at the. It's a guy I found on Instagram, and
okay.
He's escaping me with the name. But.
Okay, but regardless, that's what it is. Hey, if you guys will like what we're doing and you want to support what we're doing, you can always join the Discord. There's a budding community that's growing every day on Discord. So join Discord. It's free. If you continue to want to support us, you can always join our Patreon. We have a couple of different levels out there of Patreon support. You can always buy merch. We mentioned it before, but by the time this podcast comes out, our first specialty shirt will be off the market. So, but we did mention it in the last episode, which is going to be cutting it really close. But by the time this episode hits, that first specialty shirt that we had will be out, and we will be thinking on what our next one will be, because we will be putting out a new one. Who knows? Maybe we'll get an artist from Fiverr to do a design. Maybe who knows? We have
maybe we do a little collab.
Maybe we do a collab with somebody. I'd be open to that. So we've got a few things out there that we're thinking about. The other thing is that obviously we've had our first guest on a while ago, and we are going to start lining up some guests since my riding season is going to be winding down. And I know that Luke's will be in a month or so, and we will start to. He's saying no. But my riding season will be winding down for sure. But
sure,
regardless, we appreciate the support that you guys have shown us so far. And one of the things that Luke has mentioned in the past, and we want to mention it to everybody out there. If you don't want to join Patreon, great. If you don't want to join the Discord, great. If you have Instagram or Facebook, reposting is free. Reposting any of our posts is a great way to show support. And the reason even that we even bring it up is that it just broadens our reach. It gets the audience, more people out there able to listen, to learn about the podcast, to hear about us. We've been getting good feedback, and we very, very much appreciate that. If you want to rate us on any of the platforms, that also helps. All of these things helps build the algorithm for us, because we want to continue to grow and be successful. So
at the end of the day, we spread the reach, more listeners, more streams, more guests, quality guests, and we continue to do this and hopefully add more to it. So. As much as you want this to grow with us, we need your help with that, and any help you can provide is greatly appreciated.
Yeah. So there we go. That's it for episode 11 and Everyday Carry.
That's all right. All right, guys. We'll see y'all next week.
Be safe.